We're talking about why it is we hold on to old patterns. Come on in, Tony. Why it is people turn up late. Tony, you're our example. So, what we're talking about is old patterns and habit patterns. Now, in order to shift something, you have to shift all sides of the parts of you. So you have to shift the physical body, you have to shift the mental body, your psyche, your personality, which includes your emotions, your mental emotional body, and then there's an energetic structure, which is like the blueprint that goes on. So the key is to understand where your buttons are, which are your reactive buttons, which aren't your fault, because remember, we didn't choose any of this. We didn't choose our environment, we didn't choose our genes. The two things that make us unique, we didn't choose. That doesn't mean we're not unique, and it doesn't mean that we don't sit here and go, hold on, I can choose to go, me! And that was totally a unique choice of mine. Nobody made me do it. But Mark, who is the personality who's in front of you, has been created. Now all I want you to do with that, it's a very deep philosophical conundrum, because it doesn't go anywhere. Because you could go, so what? And there is a big so what. You didn't choose any of it, but you are who you are right now. But I want you to have it in the back of your mind that actually it's not your fault. So the acceptance is the first step to changing. Now let's just sort of take that, it's not your fault, you're doing the best you can with the tools you've been given. It's as simple as that. You were given a set of tools, and you went, and the environment led something into you, and then you go, okay, I've got this toolkit, what can I do? Okay, I can use this tool. Whoops! Jesus, didn't expect that chaos to ensue from me using that tool. And then from that chaos, you go, oh God, it was so bad, and everyone was crying, and now they're shouting at me, and they won't talk to me anymore, oh my God, it's so bad. And then from that, you get a new tool. Because then when that environment happens again, you're not going to do the same thing, because you've got a new tool. And that is an automatic process that's going on. You're retooling. You're adding to your toolbox. So, it's not your fault. You're doing the best you can with what you've got. That's the first step. And that is what leads to acceptance, is you're doing the best you can with the tools you've got. You can't do anything else. The other thing is that because we didn't choose where we were born, because we didn't choose who our parents were, what language they were speaking, what economic climate they were in, any of it, when we get to our first choice, it's a result of all those things that weren't us. So suddenly we go, oh, I don't like beans. Now that choice emerges from not from some unique, well, it's unique, but not for some internal soul personality. You are who you are, not through your own fault. Now, that leads to a complete acceptance of you, because if you are who you are because of everything else that's happened to you, that means that you don't have to regret anything. Because when you look there and go, God, why did I do that? That was my fault, I feel so guilty. There's no point in the guilt, because that happened the way it was supposed to happen. How do I know? Because it happened. If it wasn't supposed to happen, it wouldn't have happened. It's very simple, logic. It's logic and philosophy all in one, with emotions. So, that was supposed to happen. Now, when it happens, you do the best you can with the tools you've got. Okay? How do we update our tools? How do we undo the habit patterns that we've learned? Now we're getting to it. They're not our fault. They're not our fault we've got these habit patterns. They're the way we've just emerged into it. So first we accept. Okay? Whoever's the closest to us knows where our buttons are, and they will automatically push them without knowing. Now, the key is, what do you do when someone pushes a button? This is where the skills of yoga, which Lisa was talking about, and meditation come into play. What you do when someone pushes a button, you have two main reactions. You could do this. No, you're wrong, and this is the reason why. Here, 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 and by the way, you're wrong. Okay? There. That's an extrovert way. The other way, that's the yang. The other way is the yin. You go, whatever. I don't talk to you. And you're wrong, by the way. That's the yin. You retract yourself. That's the introvert way. Yin, yang, extrovert, introvert, hot, cold, right, wrong. It's the duality. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Ooh, there's a third. What's that third? The third is that bit in the middle. Because in the yin-yang Chinese system, it's not about the yang, it's not about the yin. It's about the blend of the yin and the yang together. How do you go left and right at the same time? How do you go up and down at the same time? How can you be both good and bad at the same time? The point is, what's that middle ground? That not yang, not yin, what's that sitting in that moment? And what that is that sitting in that moment and watching, just allowing it to flow, allowing the possibility of what if that is exactly correct. So what do? You've got your one reaction. No, I'm not, and I'll tell you for why, because I really did care about that, and I did that, and I tried to do that, and then you just didn't do extrovert. The other way is, whatever, introvert. The third way is to go, to literally sit in the presence, in the space of that possibility. Now, this is the most painful option. I will reiterate that. This is the most painful. The easiest one for most is to go, no, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. Or to, well, bugger you then, I won't talk to you. They're the easiest ones. The hardest one is to sit and go, yeah. But not just take it like, kind of like, but take it like this. Okay, what if it's true? Embrace the possibility that it's true. That doesn't mean you have to change your opinion or stop your opinion. This gives you ultimate freedom. It's totally counterintuitive because our brain and our intuitions are still based on that yin-yang principle. Mental, logic, emotional, yin. Mental, yang, emotional, yin. Extrovert, introvert, that's all that duality. So everything we're trying to do to fix ourselves is either a yang or a yin. That's why the answer is neither. The answer is not, what do I have to do to make myself better? There is nothing that needs fixing. That's where this illusion comes in. Now, Paul's talking about the greatest con. For me, this is the greatest con, and I hope he's talking about exactly the same thing I'm talking about. I haven't spoken to him about it. The first thing I saw was when I read his thing. But for me, the greatest con is that we've somehow convinced ourselves that we're not already as we should be. That we're not already on our path. That we're not already in sync with everything that was ever supposed to be. You can only be who you are because the entire universe has conspired to agree to you being you. Every grain of sand that's ever moved anywhere in the universe has contributed towards you being you.
What if you don't like you?
That's fine, but it's the acceptance.
That you don't like yourself?
Yeah, I say it's all about love and it's all about acceptance.
But isn't that a lot of problems with people, that they don't like themselves?
Yeah, because they're not accepting themselves. It's not about liking, it's about accepting.
Because I speak to a lot of people every day and they hate themselves.
Yeah. Because there's a self-rejection pattern, habit, that they've learnt and that they're repeating. Now,
every minute,
and they're repeating it. So what I would do with those people is I would try and unhook with them their anchors. What I'm now starting to help people understand is you've got to fall in love with yourself. It's about love, and this is where the hippies have messed us up a bit. Because it's not about love as in, oh, everything's perfect, I love you. Oh, you want to rob my house? Take all my stuff, that's fine. Oh, you've just chopped my leg off, that's okay, I love you. No, you've just chopped my leg off, fuck off. It's about love being acceptance. Ultimate love is acceptance. You can love something and not like it. You can love someone and still hate them. You're a bastard, but I love you. So the love is acceptance. It's not love as in hate, because remember, that's back into the duality. And don't try and think your way out of this, because your brain can't do that, because it's designed only for duality work. You use the presence in the space. That space is here. You feel it. You feel the space, but you can't feel it as in like, because that's the feeling. Oh, is it hot or cold? No, no, it's neither. Because once you put an edge around a space, it's no longer a space, it's an edge. Shapeage. Space doesn't have an edge. So when you feel it with being present. So that's the space I'm talking about, the Father, the Son, Holy Ghost. That unity, that triad that is mentioned throughout the entire, every religion mentions it. And all spirituality talks about it, the yin yang, the bit in the middle. So how do you do it now? What if you're stuck in your habit patterns? What if you're stuck? Well, you try and push those buttons psychologically, which means that you might come up and say, so, do you want to do an example?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your current thing you're doing? Or not doing?
Okay. I am addicted to relationships.
Okay.
And I feel that I use other people to try and fulfill my happiness.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is tell me that same thing again, but look at my eyes and don't take your eyes off my eyes.
Okay. I'm...
You see how hard it is? Okay, good. Keep going. Now, what we've done just simply, by breaking the habit patterns of her body structure, we've simply brought up all those feelings. Can you feel them now? Okay, so now, keep breathing. Keep breathing. So this is what we would do a long way, but all those feelings, what they do is they come to the surface, and this is just like EFT, TFT stuff. Have you seen all that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what they do is they say, feel the emotion, feel it. Imagine a spider crawling up your leg if you're phobic, yeah? Okay, imagine it, really feel the spider, see it, yeah? Oh my God. And then they tap you. So they break the connection to your association of that fear, of that problem. So we just very briefly went up, and what I noticed is I saw that she engaged in a series of anchors, body anchors, to lock herself into her own belief, whatever that is. We haven't even got to the belief yet. We don't even know what the story is. I mean, it's just simple. I'm just trying to show you this reflection.
I feel that I use other people to fulfill my own happiness, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to go within a little bit more.
So, have you been looking outside to see if you're wanted?
Yes, absolutely.
And thus see if
my
you're...
whole life.
Right.
Never been single.
You've never been single?
No.
Okay, so it's a good
Apart
exploration.
From 0 to 15.
You did?
16. Sorry.
Legally, 16. not 13, 16. Okay, fine. So what we're doing here is we're pushing the buttons. Okay, keep breathing now. So we won't go too much more into it, but what we're doing is, as she's talking about it, and as I'm seeing where her anchors are, I am trying to help her let go of those anchors so that she almost becomes naked psychologically and emotionally with me. Okay, that's quite saucy. But when it's a man, it's not that saucy. No. So she becomes naked in the sense that what she's established as her familiar anchor patterns, we literally disrupt. We disrupt that anchoring.
It's very uncomfortable.
Feels uncomfortable, okay? Especially because there's got a crowd of people watching us, okay? That's doubling the uncomfortableness. You notice that as you're talking about some emotional thing, you get the urge to want to move in some way, to want to twitch, to want to scratch, to want to look away, because what you're trying to do is avoid being present with it. So you avoid presence with it by moving. So if I'm talking and I'm having an emotional, the emotion's coming, I distract myself by kind of going. So this is part of the meditation. This is why meditation is so beneficial. Meditation that's on stillness, because you sit still and you breathe. When something comes up, if you stay still, it has nowhere to anchor to distract you from. It's all about distracting yourself so you can maintain who you think you are, who your beliefs are, who your old habit patterns are. I hate myself. Right? Why do you hate yourself? Because this, and this, and you know, and every time you come up to the edge of letting go of that, you'll distract yourself, because the main thing as humans, what we want to do is to know ourselves. That's why change is so uncomfortable. That's why this change management is a multi-billion-pound industry, because change for humans is hard, mainly because all we want to know is who we are. And if every day when we wake up we go, I have no idea who I am, we won't get anything done. The semantics, the story does not matter. It's irrelevant. It's all about the emotions that you attach to the story. So you conjure it. By telling the story, you conjure the emotions up, they come to the surface and they become primed. They become primed. You can even feel them. Now, and I'll be watching the breathing. Because the main area people hold, coming back to you, the main area people hold is the solar plexus. This is the solar plexus chakra. It's the diaphragm that comes here, comes across. It holds our lungs in a state of compression, in a vacuum. So that this in-breath is not me sucking air into my body. I don't have a fan at the bottom of my lungs. Yeah, I can't pull air into my body. All I can do is give up, and the pressure of the atmosphere equalizes my lungs. That's why you can't breathe on top of mountains, not because there's no oxygen, but because there's no pressure. So the in-breath is nature filling your lungs to equalize the pressure outside to inside. That's why wind blows. So you are being breathed with that in-breath. You are being breathed. You have no choice. No control, no choice. That's why people who are desperate for control get anxious, because they start holding their breath, because they say to the atmosphere, no, I'll breathe me, okay? They start breathing into their chest. They don't breathe into their diaphragm. They don't want to surrender that muscular control over the atmosphere. Muscular control. No, I'm in control here. This area is connected to the adrenal glands, energetically on top of the kidneys, release adrenaline and noradrenaline. So if you start holding here in control, you start to get anxious. You start to get anxious, what do? You hold your breath again. You're in that cycle. Now, what that means is this. The solar plexus here, that's the seat of your personality. This is where it's all at, which is why the breath is so important. Okay, holding your breath is most people's habit. So I'd be watching her breath and blah, blah, blah. Then we would keep going, and then we'd go in physically and move stuff.
Oh, really?
Go in physically and move stuff. So,
Let me explain.
let's go!
I'll get it out of you one way.
So let me clarify something else. Everyone talks about letting go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. It is the way of the Buddha to let go. So it is all about this surrender process, this allowing it to occur. The letting go is not about putting it away from yourself, because that would be a rejection. If you try and let go of cancer, if you try and let go of anger, what you're saying to that anger is, I fucking hate you. Out. Get out of my life. The anger's like, but I'm part of you. You can't, how? I'm part of you. And it says, well, I want to come home. Let me come home. And it's coming towards you. You say, get away. I don't like you. I want to go home. And the other option is you succumb to it and you go, well, come on. No, I hate everyone. Everyone, I hate you all. I'm miserable. And it's you succumb to it. That again is the yin and the yang. The extrovert, the
So
introvert.
what's in between of
You
that?
tell me what's in between.
Accepting that you can be angry.
Okay.
Allowing yourself to be angry.
Not
So-
judging your anger.
You just
What was that last one?
not
Not
judging.
judging your anger.
You just let it be.
And by
It's
doing
me.
that, maybe.
No, look, there's some anger.
Be under no illusion. This is the hardest of those two options, of those three options. The hardest is to allow it to be without rejecting it. Now, what that means is not this. I'm an angry person. Because that would be succumbing to it. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not talking about, get away from me, I need to rid myself of this anger. No. It's not about that.
Well, I mean, that's
That's
impossible
almost
anyway, isn't it? With anger.
It's impossible with anything, because they're all you.
Yeah.
You can't take you away from you. It's like if I want to get rid of this liquid, I could go and put it over here, that tea. Right? But it's still there, isn't it? Doesn't matter how far I push it away, I can still see it. It's still there. So how do I get rid of it?
Drinking. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You let go
And absorb it.
by allowing it to be present, by consuming it, by being with it, by allowing it, by loving it. Loving it doesn't mean you have to like it. Loving it means accepting it. So, how do you know when you've got the points you need to accept? They're the ones that make you feel most uncomfortable. When you get up to your edge, you know you're there, because it hurts to go any further. Usually people say, I can't do this, I I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And they might say it to themselves, they might say it to other people, it doesn't matter. When you get to your edge, you know you're there. And what do you have to do? Burn. What do I mean by burning?
Set fire to yourself.
Yes, everyone go. Therapist tells clients to burn themselves. Mass burning happens. Cold. Mass cold in Bowden. What do I mean by burning? What I mean by burning is being present with it without reacting to it.
Oh, that's hard.
Oh, gang,
Oh, tell me about it. It is, as I said, the hardest thing you'll ever do.
Can we use anger? Because that's a really specific one. And
Yeah?
Yeah, I get angry a lot.
Yeah?
so
I'm not
you can accept that you're an angry person.
No.
No, wrong.
Right.
That's succumbing. Right, you can accept that you feel angry
Yes.
about something.
Yes?
Right.
But you don't want it to
So what
absorb
do you then do?
You express it.
You express, because or is that a whole different thing? How do you deal with the anger then?
You don't need to deal with anything. You just be it. You're angry,
But you
be
know
it,
what?
it will go.
If I'm angry with you and I hit you,
Yeah.
right, I'm
No,
absorbing the
you
anger.
hit me because you didn't deal with your anger. You didn't let it be.
So that's going a step too far, me hitting
The
you.
hit. Look, I might
That's
like
rejection,
that. Actually.
isn't
Yeah. We'll talk about that
That's
later. I've got some devices. Anyway,
I might like doing it.
exactly. S&M aside,
Yeah.
the hitting comes when you've bottled it in so much that you lose control
Yeah.
and it emerges.
Yeah.
That's what losing your temper is. I get angry often. I never lose my temper.
Ah, right, okay. So we're not talking about, because to me, getting angry, I just have visions of myself losing my temper.
Look, I'm driving on the road. Some idiot cuts me up and scrapes my car. You bastard! You're an idiot! What are you doing? Look! That is anger.
Yeah, that's
But it's
how I
gone. As soon as I've done it, it's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't go into the next room and go, that idiot, it's gone. There's nothing there. There's nowhere, I'm not holding it anywhere. The point is, we are human. We are designed to be happy and sad. We're designed to be angry and love. And all the emotions, the yin and the yang, that's our makeup. Our problem comes when we try and repress our makeup. Not makeup. Ourselves. It's not about repression. It's not about rejection. It's not about succumbing. It's about being present with it. About allowing it to be. And that signals in the breath. If you breathe deeply like I just showed you, there's nothing it can anchor to. Most people in this room will be breathing like this.
Yeah, you breathe up, don't you? It's not
No, you don't. I mean, yes, one has programmed to, but just put your hand over your belly and a hand over your chest. Take a breath in and let this belly breathe in. Now, the way to activate this is to use your muscles and push the air out after it's come in. So breathe in, and then use these stomach muscles, your pelvic muscles, to go like a rolling pin, coming up from here, all the way up and squeezing out. And then take a breath in. Or you can just give up. And usually, so right, these are self-defense mechanisms and natural sabotage mechanisms because you don't want to change. No, listen, as much as your brain thinks it does, your body, as by design, is designed to stay the same. It's designed to maintain what it knows. So this is about breaking easy habit patterns. Anyway, once we've stimulated, and I've watched her breathing, and I've got her to breathe, and she's already like kind of primed, we go in and we physically stimulate pressure points where she might be holding these issues. Now, did you feel that? Okay, so now, usually they're around these areas or in the ribs, I like to find them.
Oh no, that's horrible.
The ribs, that's where it all up. Mainly because it's our solar plexus, this is our personality, who we think we are, whether we accept ourselves, and based all in here, and then in the hips, over here, and then the buttock, because our body's clever. It goes, where can I store this? Nobody's going to touch it. Right? Under here. Under here. No, boyfriends aren't going to be prodding you in your ribs here. Look, there's an arm protecting it. Nobody's touching you there. Arm, big bum muscle, biggest muscle in the body. Nobody's getting in under there. No. Chest, I'm defending. I can see anything coming. It's quite a good protective area. So we store it inside our body. So what you do is stimulate the emotions. You stimulate the emotions. Is that what you're thinking? You stimulate the emotions.
Have you never been,
Sex-free
have you never
for a
been
year.
locked up or reported to the
I don't mind.
So did you mean how many times? So,
Nothing's going on there. Things are going on.
so you, what was I saying now? I'm terribly distracted between the S&M and the sex-free club. The point is, you use their own anchors. You don't have, there's no energy I have to put into this process. I'm just watching, and when I see an anchor, I go, oh, there's an anchor, and I point it out, and I say, what happens if we stop using that? And then they go, it feels funny. I say, okay, keep going through that, keep breathing through it. Okay, fine. So we bring it up. I'm not doing anything, just a mirror. And then when we come up to it, then we just literally work on the body. I'm not going to do much, but then we just literally then go in and work on the physical body. And as the pain happens, the pain is where we've anchored an emotion, a feeling, and a habit, and then we breathe through and allow that to surrender. So, that's my therapy stuff that I do, which I call psychopressure. And inside the acupressure deep tissue, there'll also be energetic pulsing away. The point is to get the person primed emotionally, and then to try and unhook them physically. And that's where the release happens. Now, thank you. How do you release yourself anyway? You watch where it's uncomfortable, and you go there and sit and watch. You don't have to do anything. Doing is one of the yin or the yang. The extrovert, the introvert. That's the doing process. That's why my workshop is called Transformational Consciousness. Something like that. Being.
Yeah, the being.
The being. You've got to be. And when you be, you free yourself from where you anchored yourself. Simple. Done. That's it. It's so simple that we miss it. It's so simple we miss it. Everyone's looking. I'm looking for my contact lenses. Where the hell are they? Where are they? Where are my contact lenses? Who's got them? You got them? Where are my contact lenses? You go looking, I could look around the world forever for my contact lenses. I'll never find them. They're in my bloody eyes, aren't they? That's what we're doing. It doesn't matter what you do, whether it's a yin or a yang, whether it's an extrovert or an introvert. It's wrong. Not wrong as in naughty, bad. It's wrong as in you're missing the point. The point isn't to fix yourself. The point is to accept yourself. And from that position, you can unfold and flower into a state of happiness beyond the story. It's a contentment. It's not a happiness as in sadness. It's a pure contentment. The best way I know to do that is meditation or yoga. For me, meditation. For Lisa, it's yoga. Everyone's got their own way. For me, it's the stillness. If you sit in the stillness and non-reactive, that doesn't mean you don't care. Now, as you practice this, you might feel, hold on, I've not got any emotions. Am I like turning into a robot? Oh my God, what if I never have an emotion again? No, just let yourself sit in that surreal state that you're going to experience now after what we've just done. You're going to experience at some point a surreal state of someone's having a drama and you're sitting watching it and you're not buying into the drama. And you're not reacting to the drama by hiding, by moving away. And you're not reacting by the drama by going, oh yes, it's terrible, tell me more, yeah. You're not doing either. You're just sitting, watching, being completely present. And you'll see, they'll come to the end of their spill, their drama spill, and they'll go, and they won't know how to carry on because they need to be fed. They need that drama fed by you. And if you just sit in that space, you give them the space to let go of what they were holding, that pattern. So you free them. Cool? Yeah.
Kids.